Testing 1 2. Am I streaming? Hello, hello. Testing 1 2. If you're out there, say hello to me, kids. Testing 1 2. So I'm waiting for some of the traders to hit the chat room, and then we will start our little analysis session. Traders in my chat room, if you would like to come join the YouTube chat, that would be helpful, so we can have a little conversation while I'm showing you analysis. Let me just type that. Join the chat room, kids. Join YouTube, please. Hi, Stephanie. Stephanie Martin, nice to see you. So, what I wanted to show, very interesting what's going on here. Hey, what's up, Kelly? What I wanted to show, because I'm streaming live, we've been doing analysis all summer long, and during the summer, we've had this summer pullback. Now, throughout the summer, I've been doing videos specifically geared at fund managers, telling them, listen, you've been on the wrong side most of this year. You're either in bonds or maybe even short the market. You need to get on the long side, and the summer will provide us the dip to get you long. So the market had started to drop as we expected. We filmed a video on the 18th to tell everybody, listen, you got 6 days left. Once we hit the bottom of 6 days, we will either hit 34,000 in the Dow, or the bottom is in after 6 days. And we literally went 6 more days. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and the bottom came in just as the Dow grazed 34,029. And look what's happened since. It has literally exploded. We are back to risk on. For the fund managers out there that I've been trying to help all summer, you know, last week I basically said we've got a 6-day countdown for you to flip, and you haven't flipped. You got a problem now. You've got to get on the right side of these markets. So this was geared, all summer long, I geared these videos towards fund managers and explained to them, I get it. It looked like you should have jumped in bonds in February. I get that. The fundamentals were terrible out there. But the chart read was not. The chart read said we'd go all the way past 5,000 in the S&P this year. Well, we're getting there now, kids. We're in the 4,600 area. We'll be at 5,000 before the year's over. The OMNI has been calling this correctly. But the point is, we had 6 days left, and right to the 6th day, this thing started to go. Now, that is pretty darn solid technical analysis. I don't know anyone else that can do that with a chart. I mean, you guys have known me for years. I can kind of make these charts do acrobatic stunts at a circus. But I don't know if enough people have noticed. I mean, information like that could have saved a bunch of fund managers this summer who've been on the wrong side of this market. So I hope I got my point across to them. The markets did exactly what they were supposed to do. I had a clip that I put in a video 2 nights ago from 6 days ago when I did this video to literally say we've got 6 days left, kids, and then the bottom comes in. And that is what happened. That's very, very solid, strong technical analysis. Hey, Dave Delaval, check you out. So I just wanted to reiterate that, make sure that you've seen that for yourselves, and we are on our way, kids. Now, we do have a big 3-day holiday weekend showing up this weekend, and generally we do get some weird reversals before a big 3-day holiday weekend. But the market is looking solid at the moment. You may get a Thursday, Friday pullback. I don't know that that's even going to be able to happen because you've already had such a major pullback that now you've got risk-on buying taking place. And I guarantee you there will have to be a few fund managers who've been following me for years that heeded my warning on this, because 6 days into, right after my video went out, the markets exploded. Somebody was paying attention. So I wanted to make sure that you were aware that we are back in the risk on, and whether or not we have a little pullback for the holiday reversal, once the holiday's over, we go straight back up again. Now, we were asking about, yeah, absolutely buy the dip Ponzi. We were asking about Bitcoin, right? I seen somebody put in a question about Bitcoin. I think I may have a Bitcoin chart already drawn up. Let's go look around. Yes, there's one here. So here we are on Bitcoin. Let's pull in some of these labels so you can see. As you know, we've had a projection that we would hit 85,000. I put that projection out 5 years ago. Exactly for 5 years. We have 2 years and 10 months left after the end of this month, August. And right now you've got BlackRock and everybody else petitioning the SEC for Bitcoin ETFs. Now, everyone else that petitioned from before was told no, they're not BlackRock. BlackRock's got $14 trillion under management. The SEC will say yes, that's that. Larry Fink from BlackRock, for the last few years, basically was on the same side as Warren Buffett and Charlie Munger, and they thought Bitcoin was garbage, just a Ponzi scheme. Well, Larry Fink has re-engineered his thinking and has come up with fantastic ideas how to use Bitcoin for us on Wall Street, for the crypto crowd, for the blockchain crowd. This guy's got a fantastic plan on how to tokenize markets using Bitcoin. In other words, instead of us trading wheat, let's call it wheat. Wheat's got end users and it's got people that are growing. Growers and end users. The growers are growing, the end users need it to make Wonder Bread or whatever it is they're going to make. But you have people like us that speculate in the middle and distort the deliveries. Why are we trading wheat at all? Why aren't we trading a token of wheat backed by Bitcoin that moves the exact same price as wheat at all times, but will never interrupt delivery disruption, right? It'll never make disruption in delivery. That is what Larry Fink's got planned for us. He wants to tokenize stocks and commodities. It is brilliant. It is a smart thing to do, and Larry will get approved because, again, he's got $14 trillion under management. No one else has that but him. He's getting approved by the SEC. What's happening with Bitcoin now? This 80-bar average has been probably the best algorithm that you could dream of to use on Bitcoin, because look at how it reacts at the 80-bar moving average every single time it gets near it. So Wall Street is fixated on the 80-bar moving average. They sold it exactly at the average on Wednesday, on Tuesday, and on Wednesday it came back down a little bit. So if you want to time Bitcoin, just time it with the 80-bar moving average or the 80-bar algorithm, whatever you want to call that. It seems to work really well on Wall Street. Anything else I could help you cats with? I just wanted to make sure that you see that first chart. Most important that we realize we are back in the swing on this guy. We are back in the swing. Upside, even if we get a little reversal. Remember that. Even if you get a little reversal for the holiday weekend, it's not a major worldwide holiday weekend. It's just for the United States, right? So it's not the biggest. You may not even get a pullback. If you do, get ready to buy it next week. And there's probably one more. Oh, yeah. Being that this was one of my trades for today. Look at NVIDIA. This was one of my trades for today, and the gift on this chart is to use the 20-bar algorithm or moving average. Check this out. Watch how well this works. No, not this one. This one. Check this out. Look at how well this algorithm or average works on NVIDIA. You know the fund managers are using it, right? And I've pointed this out to you in many webinars. I've told you to use the 20 bar, but look at how well the 20 bar is acting on NVIDIA. NVIDIA is the AI stock right now, and it is showing us that it is nowhere near done yet on the upside. I don't think there was anything all that important barring this. I think when I looked at last night, you know, we can look at Tesla because it had a nice big bar yesterday. So Tesla is acting well around that same average, by the way. Let's get rid of this bigger one, which doesn't make sense on this chart anyway. We'll just get rid of it. It's not doing anything here, but it does. Look at this guy. Look at that average, how well it's working. These are simple algorithms that they're using. This is a simple 20-bar algorithm, and it is rock solid on Tesla. Simple little tips like this can help you guys make a fortune. Of course, you can use it improperly and lose all your money, right? Never trade without stops. Put your stops in first. I've been trading 42 years, and I'm a victim of getting punched in the face every now and then with a bad stop. But at least my stops are always in, so I live to fight another day. So, and then there was Amazon. Let's go there. Look at Amazon, and this guy's using a different algorithm, and it's working really well. Check this out. Let's flip to this guy. All right, and we'll get rid of this one. Check this out. Look at how well this behaves. Let me make that a little darker. Let's see what we can do with that. No, it's not you, it's you. Let's make that a little deeper, uninterrupted. Boom. They have been keying off this average. Just keying off. See that? Keying off this average like crazy. It's the 32 bar. And we just held a major, look at this, major trend line that holds almost always. Little breach through it, now above the algo or the moving average, above the trend line. Rock and roll Amazon. The markets are starting to go. You'd have to think that Facebook, same thing. And that could be the end of our presentation, kids. All right then, let's go with something else. Let's look at Apple. Apple. Now we have to reduce this just a little bit. Let's go here and get rid of this one. Look at Apple on this one. You'll love this. Apple as well fell out. If you noticed, it held so well inside this channel and this average. They just worked together. And then you broke at the average and the channel. Well, you are now at least back above the channel. And we'll see what happens if, oh, excuse me, back above the average. And we'll see if we could at least maybe get back up here to the channel. So everything that moves the market higher is starting to look really well. The market itself looks really good. So I think we're on solid ground, kids. I think we're going to be okay. And that 6-day count, you could not ask for better analysis than that. That is right on the money. A round of applause for technical analysis, right, kids? I mean, how good is technical analysis? No one can make that up. So, you know, I do actually have a crystal ball. I don't know if you've ever seen it. The thing is, I can't really figure out how to trade off this crystal ball. So I have to resort to the charts instead. Now, when things get really tricky, we do got the buy-sell coin, just in case we have to go there. But we try not to use that one either. What we try to do is come up with the proper technical analysis that will help my OMNIacs make money, or at least lose less. Maybe we could get that done. So you were looking at Riot, huh? Yeah, Riot, some stock. Riot. So is that okay? So that is Riot. You know, there's so many other stocks that are better to play. Why Riot? Why even go near it? I don't like the way it looks. It's not behaving like the other markets are. So I would say find something else to play. I don't like Riot at all. You're looking at a LTHM. Let's see what that looks like. LTHM. That's a bear flag. That's ugly. What is LTHM? I've never looked at it before. I looked at LTHM for you. Tell me what it is. I'll look it up if you want me to, but if you're quick, tell me what it is. Because I don't like it at all. I would say that you are looking at a weird flagpole and an ugly flag. So look, let's show you the flagpole. Let's make this continuous, no extension, nice and thick, boom. Some weird, ugly flagpole. You can even take it to here if you want. And then, I don't know what to call this, but I don't like that. It looks like it wants to go down, not up. Battery spec, huh? So, oh, someone mentioned gold. Oh boy. I actually have gold drawn up on another chart, so let's go find it there. let's put this one back to the way it was. It was DJIY, right? I think we have gold on a different chart. Let's go find it somewhere else. It's probably here. I guess I have it somewhere, but we'll just take it fresh and go from there. So the gold has been doing some really strong up move lately. Let's see. Let's get rid of whatever ugly average this is because it's not making any sense on this chart. We could just go with a normal 50 because that's kind of what Wall Street loves, and we'll start there. And you're just getting above the 50, which means you probably bounced off the 100. Let's go check that. Those are the two, for whatever reason, Wall Street loves the 50, the 100, the 200. I don't care why they like it. If they like it, I like it. So nothing to do with any of those. You got to be looking at the 50 because we're just starting to hit that now. And you know Wall Street keeps this stuff in mind. So you're getting to the 50 ball moving average in gold. You kind of did fail at it last time it attempted. Let me label this. What you really got to watch for, though, is this. It's not the gold so much that you have to worry about. It's this other lunatic. Here, let me bring this guy out for you. You got to watch this dollar. That's where the trouble is. Gold will have no problem going up as long as the dollar is going down. Let's just erase some of this stuff. You can see we fell out of the channel. Gold will go up as long as the dollar can continue to go down. Now the dollar is looking good on the downside. So dollar dropping. Which is good for metals. So you got the dollar fell out of this channel. Looks kind of ugly, right? And at the same time, look what markets like this are doing. SIZ, silver. Look what markets like silver are doing because the dollar's going down. So you've got silver in a nice little trend here. And, you know, silver's kind of a worthless metal that doesn't really do much on the upside. But when the dollar goes down, silver likes to stick its ugly head up. So what do you have next? Silver fans, be careful of this right here, please. You're just starting to mess with that spot right there. Look. And I promise you, every analyst on the planet has this line drawn in right here. It hits that high, it hits that high, it hits that high, it hits that high. It's there. And we just hit into that spot right here and fell back. So we got above the red line, but we're trading down here now. Silver is last right here. If you do not settle above that red line today, silver has had its move. You will end up back down here somewhere. Silver bugs, be careful. Do I mind doing SPX? Well, that's sort of what I did here. If you look back at this chart, no, 18. If you look back at this chart, that's not, this was a joke chart that I had made once when they couldn't figure out who put the cocaine in the White House. The chart clearly pointed to only one person that could have possibly left it there. I was messing around. Old news. This was chart 19 that we wanted. There we go. So this is your S&P, Dow, NASDAQ, transportation average, whatever you want to call it. We're looking at the Dow itself. And the Dow had a cycle where it had 6 days left before it was going to hit bottom at 34,000. It did do just that within 29 points and has exploded since. And, you know, we basically did videos right on this day to tell you, count 6 days before the rally comes in, pleading with fund managers to listen to me on that one, by the way. So I can only bring the horses to water, kids. I can't make them drink it. BlackRock owns a lot of MicroStrategy. Yeah, absolutely. Don't you think they were accumulating before they decided to petition for their ETF? They know what's going to happen to the price of Bitcoin. By the way, if you don't know this about Bitcoin, let me bring Bitcoin back up. Bitcoin will be halved. The price of Bitcoin gets halved. The value of it will be halved every 4 years. We know that happens. And the mining that you would get for mining Bitcoin gets shaved in half every 4 years. So there is going to be a thing that's going to happen in April, and that's right around the time BlackRock's going to be taking it higher. Bitcoin's got a year ahead of it coming, kids. I promise you. Get ready for this guy. It is going to go. And then I'll be crypto man like crazy. Right now, fiat, a little bit of crypto, because crypto's had its meltdown. It's not in vogue. For me to come out with videos every night to talk about stuff that's not in vogue kind of makes me a guy who doesn't pay attention. So I kind of stick around with the stuff that is in vogue at the time, what's moving, what's active. And if it turns out to be crypto, I will be crypto Carboni in a moment. Don't you worry about it. I own a bunch of it. All right, so there also is bonds, kids. Let's go back to one more chart. You've got bonds. Luckily, well, I've got a really pretty bond chart saved for you, but I still feel like finding it. So we'll start with a fresh one and we'll go from there. Besides, for me, I'd rather do fresh analysis in front of your eyes anyway than have any voodoo pre-drawn up. So I like this better. So what is starting to happen, luckily, let's just clean up this chart a little bit, is we're starting to get a little bit of a V bottom. Can you grab that for me, please? A little bit of a V bottom forming here in your bonds. Now, these are our interest rates. We need this V bottom. Take my word for it. We need this. So if we can get a V bottom to form and get rates to move a bit higher, well, bonds to move a bit higher, it'll take interest rates down a little bit for us. Doesn't matter if Yellen hates crypto. Yellen's not in charge of this mess anymore. She's not going to tell us what we could do with our crypto. BlackRock has petitioned. Understand, it changes everything. BlackRock has petitioned to be a trader of Bitcoin. Let's just call it market maker of Bitcoin. It is getting Bitcoin legitimized. It is getting approved. Why would the SEC tell a $14 trillion fund no? You know what I'm saying? They're going to give it to them. So do you know that the $14 trillion that they have, I don't think that's half the money that we actually have in the markets. If you start counting private uncounted money, I think it doubles the $14 trillion. There's a lot of money out there, but the countable money that's in one spot is BlackRock's money. Well, there's plenty more out there in other funds, but BlackRock's got the most in one spot, and BlackRock wants these ETFs made. They are getting made. I promise you. I think it's the best thing that could ever happen. Tellroy, TLRY, the weed stock. That couldn't possibly be doing any good. It did for a while, but let's go look at it. It did good for a while back in the day, 2 years ago, but I bet you it hasn't done. I haven't looked at it in 2 years. Oh, it's moved up $1. It's moved up $1 in the last year. All right, we'll take it. Yeah, this is just terrible. All right, so it's going up a little, but the only reason why you'd be in this stock is if you were stuck in it from the high prices and held it to the low prices, and now you're stuck in it hoping that it goes up, is all I could see on this chart. There's a bunch of people stuck in the stock, don't know what to do with it. That's what this reads to me, because look how far it's been dropping. From $65, it has never stopped dropping since. It just keeps going and going and going. And, so it has a little rally to $5, comes back, has a little rally to $3. It's dead. Not worth trading. At least I wouldn't trade it. So, crude. Look at the crude. You know what we don't need right now? We don't need this. This is what we don't need right now. This, once it gets up here, is going to knock the S&P back down again. Now, we could get all political about this. We're not. But if the price of crude could come down, it would literally just push us to the moon. It's about the only thing holding us back at the moment. Yes, we have all the crude in the world. Yes, we have more crude here than Saudi Arabia has. No, we're not allowed to use it. That's the price we're going to get. So this does not help, but you can't stop a good market. The S&P is going to go up even with the price of crude. Don't forget, crude stocks are in the S&P, right? So if crude goes up and their stocks go up, it helps the stock market go up, even though it's sort of like raising taxes on Americans. As you raise the price of crude, you're taxing us right in our pockets at the pump. It gets hurtful right away, but we can handle it for a little while, and then we'll see what happens. Is there anything else you guys would like to look at? Jeff Hurst says markets will go up until late mid-September. Well, I have a year-end projection. I don't know that it's September that will hit it, but if we do, then that's that. PayPal probably looks good. How's PayPal? Let's go look. That's got to look good. It's a good stock. PayPal. Let's see what it looks like. Nothing that I trade, by the way. I don't go. Okay, if you want to know any stock a guy like me wouldn't go near, anything that gaps around like this, I want nothing to do with stocks that jump around and gap around like this. Nothing to do with them at all. This is not for me. Because they're closed in the middle of the day. They're closed at night. You can't get in until the morning. They gap around. There's manipulation in stocks. In fact, I don't understand why anybody trades a single stock. Get this. You can trade a single stock like this one, which obviously has all kinds of price manipulation. Look at this. Look at this mess. You can trade and try to trade a stock like this, but when you trade a single stock, remember, you are guaranteeing to yourself, because you got to make this guarantee to yourself, that single stock you're putting your money into, the CEO isn't going to park his car on the Verrazano Bridge at 8 in the morning and commit suicide because that's what he felt like doing. You're not going to find out that the government took away a contract on this company in the middle of the night on a weekend. You're not going to find out that they were cooking the books. You believe that company is perfectly ran as if you were running it yourself. That's why you put your money in a single stock. Well, I like to trade the S&P or the NASDAQ or the Russell. Do you know why? Because instead of this single stock and this lunatic CEO maybe jumping off the Verrazano in the morning, ruining the stock, you could have 10 of them jump off the bridge that are in the S&P 500 at 8 in the morning, and if it's still going to go up that day, the other 490 companies are going to take it higher. So, why trade a single stock when you can trade something like the S&P? If your analysis says market is going up and the stock that you look at looks like it's going up, why wouldn't you get involved with an index instead of a single stock? Unless you are somebody with a big fat profit in a single stock, huge profit, and you're selling calls against it, why even bother with stocks? I don't get it, kids. Me, I think the indexes are much smoother. Look at the way this jumps around and pull up an S&P. You don't see the S&P jump around like that, do you? You see any insane gaps on the S&P? Let me grab a little tool. You guys see any insane gaps on this chart? You see any herky-jerky movement? You see anything that doesn't look kind of in line? I don't see anything like that. But then you pull up a single stock and you've got all kinds of mess going on. So, me, I prefer the S&P NASDAQ Russell over any single stock anytime. Anything else out there, kids, before we end this session? Oscar is smart. Screw single stocks. Manipulation is very strong with single stocks. Absolutely, Scott. I mean, who wouldn't? It's the only place you can get away with it. You can't get away with it in the S&P. I mean, how big do you need to be to mess with the S&P, right? But how about you come in and look at Telray? Beat it up for a little while. It can happen without any trouble. So anyway, my reasoning, which I tell every one of my OMNI camps, by the way, I have that same speech. Why would you trade a single stock when you shouldn't? All right, everybody, thank you for tuning in. Remember to come join me at livewithoscar.com. I'm always there. The room is free. No credit cards are required. Just come hang out with me and help me spend my life in these rough and tumble markets. Thank you, kids. I will see you all at livewithoscar.com.